Hello everyone, welcome to today's YouTube video. Today we're going to do a very simple Zoe guide. I've been waiting to do this for a long time, but I just didn't feel like I was prepared enough to actually make a video on this topic. But now after, about a year and a half of playing, I think I'm well suited enough to, talk about this. So, anyways, let's get right into it. So as for the first thing that I'd recommend for you to do while, starting out Zoe, well, this is the first thing that I did when I started out Zoe, would definitely be to click on this right here and go into settings. Yeah, nowadays there's a lot of different things over here. You guys can copy mine. I don't have any sounds enabled. The only thing that I really have enabled right now would be Clash. Um, I disabled enable music, a little bit after I started playing, so it isn't really that important, but I would still recommend doing it. Yeah, you can mostly copy my settings over here. There isn't really anything important here. Besides should probably show hitbox, and you should probably turn off head rotation. It looks a bit cleaner when you do. And allow fainting, yeah, and separate faint button. As for graphics, I recommend going low detail for better gameplay. So you can turn off blood, turn on low detail, turn off highlighting detail. I don't use color correction, and I do use fog, so there's a fog over there. It just looks a bit off for me when I'm not using fog, but I still have weapon effects on since I should be able to run it. I don't have, oh no, I mean kill effects. Since it doesn't really change the game, weapon effects I have them turned off. And for rain enabled, I have it on because it doesn't actually happen that much. I recommend doing the day-night cycle. Um, as for my keybinds, I haven't really changed anything besides for my faint button, which I don't really use that much. And we'll get into it later on in the video, but yeah, for the UI, minimal show client data to see your server up here and your lag. Toggle, yeah, these aren't really that important right now actually. I recommend turning health bar location to top right and progress bar to off until the next step. Now, as for the next step, I recommend would be going into the shop here and picking out a weapon that you would main. I main the katana since it's quick but has still a good amount of range, and as you know, everything in Zoe is a one-shot. So you could go for the Nagi, which has slow attack speed, but it does have good range. The Tonto, which has very small range, but it has very fast attack speed. Kanabo, which does more damage, but has a slow attack speed, and it does have a good amount of range. The Kusa, which also one-shots, has a good amount of range, but it also attacks fast, but the only real downside to it, I'd say, is the attack patterns, which could be very predictable. The Sidus, which you can run around with, it's like the Tonto, but except I'm pretty sure it has a smaller amount of range, and you can run around with it. And the Odachi, which is kind of like the Nagi except with a different hit pattern, and is also a bit faster. So you should really figure out how you play first. As I play, quick and agile, block, run if you have to, know where your enemy is going. But yeah, that's the second step that I recommend you doing, figuring out which weapon type you're going to use. Now, as for the fourth step, we're going to be continuing off of the second step, and we're going to be talking about swing types. So for the katana, it goes not like that. It goes right and then left and then up, and then it does a real quick 360. The first three swings are technically better than the fourth one, since Zoe hitboxes work. Let me actually turn on show hitboxes. Right here. So basically, your hitbox follows a trail that your katana leaves behind. Now, for that trail, the fourth one actually comes over a lot slower than the first three, so people can probably react to that one faster, and they can PB you, and then counter, right? So it's a lot easier to use the faster swings, the first three, compared to the fourth. So a way to reset that is because every fourth swing it restarts back to the first. So you can just say you were fighting someone and then you clash, you can fall back, get rid of your fourth swing, right? And then you can charge back in. The way that I do it would probably be after I finished clashing, I would go back, go swing, and then dash backwards, try and catch them off guard. But there's multiple ways of doing it. That's just the way that I do it. There's a lot of different weapons and weapon types. As for the Nagi, which is, the second weapon that I primarily use, you don't want to go with the from the up to down. You want to go for not that. You want to go for this more, since that has a much greater area of effect. And it's a lot easier to clear out like hordes of people with that one. See, it does an entire 360 around you if you can maneuver around it correctly. But that's pretty much it for this section. On to the next one. Now, as for the last step in this tutorial, the main thing I would focus on is one, to practice, and two, maneuverability. Okay, maneuverability is one of the most important aspects in Zoe. If you can't maneuver well, you aren't gonna win that much. Okay, um, for like say I'm raiding a server, 9 times out of 10, if someone's just gonna standardly charge at me, I'm gonna be able to sidestep them and hit them, right? So it's good to have good maneuverability. You want to move around your enemy, right? And once they're off guard, say they already swung, there's a little hit delay where they can't swing again, which is very small, but you can take advantage of this by dashing in and hitting them. But this is, a bit more complicated than usual, so you don't have to, but I highly recommend just having good maneuverability so that you can maneuver around your enemies. And actually, there has been a lot of times where I've gotten PB'd and kind of countered, but they weren't able to like actually hit me since I was able to maneuver around their shots. So that's for the last step of the tutorial, maneuverability. That's going to be pretty much it for today's video. There isn't anything else much that I have to say besides for, practice makes perfect. It's already stuff that you already heard. But this was all to, first get you off your feet. So, you don't lose confidence in yourself. You can proudly raid servers, I could say. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today's YouTube video. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.